Hello, today we're going to go over the comprehensive exam, 100 questions that you would have to take for your state board in Texas written examination. We're going to do it in 4 parts. So the first part here is going to be part 1, and we will have 25 questions, and I want you to take a look at the questions, and then from there, look and see if you can determine what the answer is, and then I'm going to give you an answer. Let's get started. So I'm going to read the question and have you look at that if you look on the screen, and then let's see if we can determine what the answer is. Let's look at the first question. And the first question says that during the reign of Queen Maria Antoinette of France in the age of the extravaganza from 1755 to 1793, what beauty fashion was popular? Now I want you to look at the 4 answers that you can make a choice, multiple choice questions, and see what answer you would come up with that. All right, the answer is B. So if you selected B, that is correct. If you feel like you need to go back and study just a little bit, you can do that. Okay, so let's go to question 2. And question 2 says, after it was organized in the 1920s, the Associated Master Barbers and Beauticians of America. And if you see the acronym for that is AMBBA. And so what answer, as you look at the answers for A, B, and C, what is the answer? Correct. The answer for that question is C, and that is established the National Education Council and the Barber Code of Ethics. That's the correct answer for number 2. Let's go to number 3. What is the answer? Which of the following is an example of using knowledge about cosmetology's history to understand a beauty trend? What is the answer? Look down your test. Process of elimination is always good when you're taking a test. And so the answer is A. Reinventing a classic style with a modern look, such as brighter hair coloring. And that is the correct answer for number 3. Let's look at number 4. What is the answer for number 4? What does the question say? What happens during mitosis? The correct answer for that is C. A cell reproduces by dividing into 2 identical cells. So go back in your book if you need to refer to that, if you did not get the answer correct, and review the notes regarding that topic. Let's look at number 5. And what does it say? The gland-like structures in the immune system that filter bacteria, viruses, and cancer cells are called what? Look at the choices that you have. And what is your answer? The answer is B, lymph nodes. Question number 6. Choose the body system that functions to regulate the body's temperature. Look at the answers that you have to choose from, and what is your answer? Correct. The answer is B. And remember, when you're studying for your state board written exam, you're going to need to know all of those body systems and what their functions are. Now let's go to number 7. And the first question here is, Wanda's skin has recently been experiencing a significant amount of new wrinkles. What could explain these new wrinkles? Look at your questions very carefully. And what do you think your answer would be on here? You're correct. It's A. Wanda has recently been working an outdoor job, and that requires frequent exposure to very cold temperatures, and that weakens the collagen fibers. So the answer to number 7 is A. Let's look at number 8, and it says, all of the following describe a defense mechanism the skin uses to protect the body except. So number 8 would be what? D. Hair follicles pull bacteria from the surface of the skin. So number 8, you're correct. If you selected the answer D, you have that question correct. Let's look at question number 9. Which example illustrates the skin's heat regulation function? What answer did you select from the answers that you have to choose from? You're correct. The answer is C. Let's look at number 10. Which sentence best describes the difference between an open commando and a closed commando? Now, let me just highlight now, since we get a chance to talk about this. You always want to take a look at here the word best describes. So that means that the others could describe it, but which one is going to best describe? And so when you see words like best, words like except, words like all but, you want to make sure you take that in consideration so that you can get the correct answer. So the correct answer for number 10 is D. So if you marked D as your answer, you marked the right answer. Let's look at number 11. In number 11, it says the blank is composed mainly of keratin. So what answer is that? The answer is D. So if you mark D, great. You got the answer correct. Number 12, the proximal nail fold is the entire flap of skin that covers what? Look at your answers there. And what is the correct answer? The answer is C. Now we're almost halfway through with part 1 because we're going to do 25 of the 100 questions that you're tasked to do for state board. And this really is a great sample for you to use. Let's look at number 13. And the question says, why must the hypochondrium be treated gently? So why must it be treated gently? Look at all of your answers. And what is the answer? The answer is D. Let's look at number 14. You look at the question, what is the answer to that question? Which of the following nail disorders shows a noticeable thin white nail plate that is more flexible than normal and is usually caused by diet, hereditary, internal disease, medication, or overfilling with an abrasive? Which answer would you select? Number 14 is C. 15. Which nail disorder is associated with damaged skin around the nail plate that becomes split or torn? Looking at number 15, what would be your answer? And of course, the answer is hangnails. That's A. Question number 16. Which part of the living portion of the hair is defined as the structure of the skin or scalp that surrounds the hair root or anchors the hair in the skin? Looking at your answers, what answer would you select for 16? You're right. The correct answer is D. If you selected D, the hair follicles, you have the right answer. Let's look at question number 17. Which of the following conclusions can a cosmetologist make if a client expresses concern about not being able to grow hair beyond shoulder length? That can be a problem for some. What would you recommend to that person? What conclusions would you draw? Looking at your answers, and I'm going to recommend that you go back in your book and you look at the different phases. That will help you with your answer. And so the answer to that question is A. Now let's look at question number 18. What is the outermost layer of the hair? Looking at the answers that you have to select from, the correct answer is C. And 19, and what do you think for the disorder would best describe your answer? What is the answer for 19? The answer is D. Okay, the client's hair has a beaded appearance due to narrowing of the hair shaft. Let's look at number 20. We're almost there. What is the technical term for beaded hair? If you look at number 20 and you look at your answers, the correct answer is D. Question number 21. If you read that question, you do some analysis on there. What answer would you come up for number 21? I want you to pay very close attention to the latter part of that question that says, Which of the following is a consideration the stylist should take into account before performing this service again? So the question says, a stylist is preparing to perform a permanent waving chemical service on a client with straight, coarse hair. The last time the stylist performed this service with the client, the results were not satisfactory, as the hair did not curl as much as was intended. So when you look at the answers below, what would you conclude? What would you do? The answer is C. The client's hair pattern and texture are moisture resistant, so the chemical service may take longer to process. And that's important for you to note in your written exam, and also if you were actually doing that customer, you would know what to do. Let's look at question number 22. And it says, each of the following is a step in the professional draping procedure except, now there's one of those words again, it says except, so you're going to make sure that you read that word correctly in your sentence so that you can get the correct answer. And what is the correct answer for 22? The answer is B. Ask the client to fasten the cape around the neck. Okay, so that's going to be the answer to 22. It's B. Let's look at 23. And what do you think that answer is? It says a cosmetologist is performing a scalp massage service on a client with dry scalp. How should the cosmetologist design the massage service to loosen any flakes? And so looking at 23, and the answer to that is A. Let's look at 24. We're almost finished with part 1. We have 2 more questions that we need to have answered. Precision haircutting involves being precise in your haircut, and what else when you look at the answers that you have to choose from? Of course, the answer is A. That is the answer to 25. And then let's look at our last question that's here on our exam. That will finish us up with part 1, and then we will be ready to start part 2 so that we can continue to study for our comprehensive cosmetology operator state exam. Look at question 25, and it says, select the most appropriate type of haircutting shears to use when a stylist wants to add texture to the ends of the client's hair by point cutting. When you look at those answers, what would be your conclusion? The answer is D. So if you selected D, you selected the correct answer. So take a look at the answers that you would have selected correctly. See how well you did. Go back, review in your book, your My Lady 14th edition, if you need to do that, so that you can retest, review this information again to get the correct answer. You are on the right track to pass your written state board exam.